What's up guys, welcome to my channel. My name is David J. Kelly, and in today's video I want to talk about something that's a little bit controversial. Why do women like taller men? And honestly, do they even really prefer taller men? So in this video, I'm going to share a little bit of the science, a little bit of my own experience, and combine the two, and I think you're going to get a lot out of this video. So make sure you stay tuned, whether you're tall, short, somewhere in between. I think you're going to get a lot out of this video. Let's do it. All right guys, without further delay, let's get into it. Why do women prefer taller men? And as I said before, is that even really the case? Or is this just something that we all in society kind of like accept to be the status quo, but it's not necessarily the case? Well, in this video, I want to get into that, and I want to talk about my own personal experience as well as what some studies say about this. Now, in regards to my own personal experience, I am close to 6'4", so I'm considered to be a taller guy, right? And I will tell you that in my younger years, I'm 27 now, when I was a little bit younger, when I was still taller, didn't seem to help me much. And I think the main reason for that, which is where I'm gonna head in this video eventually, was actually confidence. I think confidence is actually the biggest predictor of how well you do with women, or how well a man does with a woman, but I don't want to get into that at this moment. So let's talk a little bit about why we tend to believe that women prefer taller men. It is true that when we look at studies, when we look at the data on this kind of stuff, women do explain that they prefer taller men. Specifically, women in a study once stated that, and I will link these studies below, that they prefer to marry a man who is 8 inches taller than them. So if you think about it, you know, I'm 6'4" almost. That would be a woman who's 5'8" to 5'9" would be preferring to marry somebody like me, or be with somebody like me that's close to 6'4". But why is this the case? I mean, really, is this something that's evolutionary? Is this something that is more just psychological? Or what is the case with this? It seems to be that when we look at the data on this stuff, that it actually is a little bit of both. Now, one of the main reasons for that is because, you know, tallness, being tall, is often associated with dominance, masculinity, and higher status among other men. And the reason for that is that, you know, from an evolutionary perspective, if you think about it, you know, evolutionary psychologists believe that being a taller man was a sign that you could dominate a predator or other men that were threatening to attack you and your family. So from a woman's perspective, you know, this is looking at it again from an evolutionary psychologist perspective. Women have genes that are, you know, basically propelling them to seek out mates that are taller, because it's so ingrained in their biology that a taller man is stronger and able to defend her and the children better. Now, is that fully the case? Maybe. Okay, I don't think that, at least in my experience and what I've read about this, that is necessarily the whole truth, but I certainly think it's part of it, right? I think that is certainly part of it. Another reason for this could possibly be that, you know, women simply like to feel smaller around men, right? So if a man feels taller to her and makes her feel smaller, she will feel maybe more secure with herself, or have more self-confidence. The same way that a man typically likes to feel larger and more dominant, more masculine. It makes them feel more masculine to be around a woman that's shorter and to feel stronger, bigger, and all of that, right? And it's not just when it comes to dating that taller men supposedly do better. Now, there is good data on this fact that tall men actually fare better when it comes to, you know, getting promoted at work and actually pay and status as well. And amazingly, almost all of the Fortune 500 CEOs are taller than the average man. And again, where does this come from? What is the reason for that? Again, it seems that it's a combination of things. It could be that men that are taller just have more self-confidence because they feel larger and more masculine and things of that nature. But it also could be that other people respect taller men, maybe more so than shorter men. But if you're a shorter guy, it's okay. And the reason I want to tell you that is because in my own experience, I have a lot of taller friends, shorter friends, everything in between that are men. And some of my friends that have done best with girls, to be honest with you, have been my shorter friends. Have been my average height friends as well. When it comes to taller guys, yes, there has been obviously some friends that I have that are taller that have done well with women, but I do not believe that's the biggest predictor. What do I believe is the biggest predictor? I think it's confidence. I really do, because my friends that I could just think back to just certain, situations in bars in college and even recently, that a lot of my friends who are shorter, average, taller, it doesn't really matter, who are more assertive and more confident in approaching women, they tend to fare best, okay? And the reason for that is because women are attracted to confidence. They're attracted to that more so than height, more so than looks, more so than really anything. Confidence, if you talk to any woman, I have a lot of female friends, just girls I've dated and things in the past, they all will tell you the same thing. Confidence is the most attractive thing. So if you have confidence, it's not necessarily going to matter how tall or short you are. It's going to more come across as how are you presenting yourself? Because confidence is all about how you're presenting yourself into the world. Are you sure of yourself? I have a really good video about 6 tips for alpha male confidence. I'll link in the cards right now. I think you should watch that. You'll get a lot out of it, and some tips to build your self-confidence if maybe you're lacking or just want to improve on it. But the fact of the matter is, even in my own personal experience, I didn't do very well with women when I was younger. I'm 27 now, as I might have said earlier in the video, but I didn't do well when I was younger. And why do I think I didn't do well? It wasn't that girls didn't find me attractive or I wasn't tall enough or whatever. I've been this height since I was a senior in high school. It was that I wasn't confident, okay? I was not confident in myself, and I didn't have that level of confidence when I was approaching girls. I would always find later on down the road, after I finally worked up the confidence to approach a girl that I could tell was into me for, maybe weeks, months, years at a time, they would say, yeah, I've been into you for a while now. I'm not sure why it took you so long to kind of get the hint and actually pursue this. Well, the reason for that was because I sucked with self-confidence. As my confidence has grown, and I've become more sure of myself and sure of my life, confidence is not an issue for me at all anymore. My life with women has gotten a million times better. I didn't just get taller, I've been the same height, right? So yes, I do believe that height matters, but I don't think it matters from the standpoint that it's the end all be all. If you're a short guy, you're screwed. If you're a tall guy, you're automatically in. That's just not the case. The science doesn't even say that, okay? Going back to the science, actually, what's interesting about the science is when I referred to the study before about women saying they prefer to be with a man that's 8 inches taller than them, it's very interesting because women, it's kind of like a lot of things in life. Women say they prefer that, but when it actually comes to who they're with, it's usually not 8 inches taller, because in fact, the average man is only 5 inches taller than the average woman. So it just wouldn't work that way if you think about it. There's not enough height to go around, so to speak. And when it comes to that, women say they prefer something, but in reality, oftentimes actually end up with a guy that is, not as tall as what they might, state they want. And it's the same thing for men. Men say they prefer, on average, women that are 3 inches shorter than them, but often date women that are far shorter than them. So, what you say you prefer and what you actually prefer is usually somewhat different. And there's a fascinating, I studied consumer behavior when I was in college, and this is very true even just among products and things like that. We say we prefer something, but in reality, we actually choose something completely different when it comes to picking it. Another study I found pretty interesting about this stuff was conducted in 2005. It was about online messaging, online dating. And it did kind of confirm the tallness aspect. Men who were 6'3" to 6'4", on average, got about 60% more messages than men who were 5'7" to 5'8". Now again, you have to think about this. What is that study actually saying? It's talking about messages. It's not talking about what happened afterwards. So yes, girls might see, oh, this guy's 6'3" or 6'4", I'm gonna message him because he's taller. But that doesn't tell the whole story. What happened after that? Did they actually go out? Did they hook up? Did they date? Did they marry? What, like, that's not enough detail there, right? It might get you in the door being taller, but if you have like a terrible personality, you have zero self-confidence, nothing going for you, I don't care how tall you are, you're not gonna do well. It's just a fact of life. That's why a very charismatic, confident 5'6", 5'7" guy I've seen do very well with women. And these studies show part of it, right? Like, yeah, you might get more messages, but are you actually gonna get more dates and more opportunities to, you know, hook up and things like that? Not necessarily evident whether that's the case or not. One last one that I want to talk about was, I found fascinating, was that, and this could be a correlation without causation type of thing, but amazingly, in this specific study, researchers found that women that were married to taller men reported to have better health, lower BMIs, more education, and higher incomes in comparison to women that were married to shorter men. Again, what does that say? Well, it's hard to really say and take away from that, oh, well, you know, taller men get the best things in life. Is that the case on average? Maybe. But again, if you're sitting there watching this video, that does not mean that if you're shorter or like average height that you can't do well with women or do well in life. I mean, it's obvious that there's millions of examples of shorter men that have done very, very well, and there's millions of examples of taller men who did dog shit with their lives and with women. So the takeaway here is really that yes, on average, women do prefer taller men. Okay, it is a fact. Now, that does not mean that if you're shorter, you cannot do well with women. Okay, just because they prefer on average taller men for whether it's evolutionary reasons, psychological reasons, biological reasons, just pure preference, that doesn't matter, okay? There are going to be women out there that do like shorter men. I know women like that, okay? I know women that are shorter that don't want to be with a 6'4" guy, okay? I have friends that are girls that are 5 foot, 4'11", 5'1". They don't want to be with a 6'4" dude, right? They want to be with somebody that's a little bit shorter and closer to their height. And that's the biggest takeaway, is that when we're talking about averages, you're literally talking about the average, right? So if the average woman is, say, I don't know this off the top of my head, but is 5'5", that means that half the women are taller than that and half the women are shorter than that. And if the average guy is, I don't know, 5'10", maybe, half the men are taller than that, half the men are shorter than that. So we're talking about averages. On average, women prefer taller men, right? That doesn't mean that all women prefer taller men. That means that the majority of women prefer taller men. So you have to think about it like that. And I know that for a lot of shorter guys, it could be something that's a place of insecurity to, you know, not do well. It causes them to not do well or think they can't do well with women. Again, I want to reiterate, I have seen with my own eyes a lot of my friends who are short, I'm talking 5'5", 5'6", 5'7", that do excellent with women, And I have plenty of friends that are 6'6", 6'5", and even myself when I was younger that did terrible with women and do terrible with women, right? So don't let that hold you back. Remember, the most important thing with having success with women is confidence. The most important thing in life, in doing well in life, in your career, in business, in anything, is being confident. Remember that. It's absolutely essential. So you can't control your height. You can't control, you know, if you were born with blonde hair or blue eyes or whatever, but you can control your level of self-confidence. It is something that can be developed. So with that being said, guys, I want to wrap this video up. I hope you got something out of it. I hope whether you're tall, average height, or short, you're walking away from this video understanding that it's not your height is not the biggest, you know, success factor. It is confidence. So have a great day or night depending on when you're watching this. Make sure you are subscribed and turn the notifications on. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.